Hey, I'm Gav from Gav Takes Photos, and today we're going to be taking another look at the Yongnuo 25mm F1.7. This isn't the first time I've covered this lens on the channel, but I've actually been slightly impressed by this lens. So much so that I've kept it. The original idea was to sell the lens after I used it on holiday, but here we are. Months later, I got this in August, it's February now, and it's still in the camera bag, so I figured let's do an updated video and let you know my thoughts months later. Right, so I initially got this lens with the idea that on my holiday to Croatia, this would be my main street photography lens. And after that, I would actually be selling the lens to get some money back for it, because I didn't expect this to be any good. Pleasantly surprised though. After walking around the streets of Zadar in Croatia, I actually found this lens to be really reliable. Like, oddly reliable, especially for the price point of this lens. Currently on Amazon, they're £104, brand new. And that is absolutely mind-blowing for how well this thing has performed. Even more crazy to me is the fact that on AliExpress, this is a sub £100 lens. And that's insane. Less than £100 for this. Sign me up. Now, I'm not here to make some wild claims that this lens is super high quality, because it's not. It is extremely plasticky. But at this price point, I expected the whole thing to be plastic, and it actually has a metal lens mount, which I found quite good really. Sub £100, metal lens mount, reliable autofocus. There's got to be a downside to this somewhere. It has to be. I'm going to try and find it. But while testing this lens out, I thought the one thing that's really going to give me grief, it has to be the image quality. It has to, because the autofocus is fine. It works in continuous and single. It hits reliably. It stays in focus. The build quality is alright for the price point. So the image quality has to be bad, right? There has to be. They have to have cut corners somewhere. I guess you could say this wouldn't be a lens review video on YouTube if I didn't take a picture of a brick wall at least once. So, audio open f1.7. Let's see what this lens can do. Stopping down to f2.8. And again to f4. Just for shits and giggles, let's go f5.6. Let's stick them up and see what you see, if there's any real image quality loss at f1.7. Now I think we all know where this test is going. At f1.7, there is vignetting in the corners, and it's a little bit soft in the corners too. But the sensor is perfectly sharp. Not the sharpest lens I've ever seen, but acceptably sharp, especially when you take into consideration how much this costs. Stopping down does get you more sharpness and takes away the vignetting, but f1.7, as long as your subject is in the middle of the frame, you should be fine. Now, given how well this lens actually performed for me on holiday, I decided to put it through a more stressful situation. I decided to shoot a wedding with this lens. Talk about jumping straight into the fire. And this lens actually handled the situation pretty well. Even when the light dipped, it still managed to get focus and get the shots. And honestly, looking at the photos this lens took, I don't think the clients are going to complain. They're not going to notice you took it with a sub £100 lens. And that is really all that matters. As long as your customers are happy, clients are happy, shots look good. What else do you need a lens to do, really, apart from that? Obviously, this lens does forego some of the niceties. Doesn't have image stabilization. Doesn't have weather sealing. Doesn't have a lens hood you can attach. Like, it's not even an option unless you get one of those silly cheap threaded ones, but we don't do that here. Don't do that here. No, no, no. So who exactly is this lens for? I would say it's the people that want to get their first prime lens and don't want to spend silly money on stuff, because this lens, even when brand new, is still cheaper than the Panasonic 25 F1.7 and the Olympus 25 F1.8. And that's second-hand prices. Brand new, this is still cheaper. Does it have as good image quality? Maybe. Is it comparable when you consider the price? Hell yeah. So that is why I'm actually going to be sticking with this lens, albeit a little bit more chunky than the Olympus version. The Olympus version would look better on my EP5, but I'd be spending money for no reason, for no actual gain. And I don't like spending money without reason. So that's why this lens is staying in the camera bag for the foreseeable future. It's genuinely not a bad lens. So that about wraps up the little update video for this Yongnuo 25 F1.7. I've been impressed with it. It's been months. I'm still impressed with it. It kicks out images that it, quite frankly, at this price point shouldn't be doing, and it has been beyond reliable compared to equivalent priced lenses. So, yeah, happy little lens. I'm going to go and take some more photos of this castle, or what's left of it anyway. So, I've been Gav from Gav Takes Photos, and I will see you in the next video. Might even be shot with this. Who knows? See you next time. These wireless mics are quite fun. I enjoy these. Just keep walking. I wonder what the range is on this thing.